Work steals your youth and subsequently, your life. It's almost like it's never going to end and you're forced into labor for the next 40 or so years before you actually begin to enjoy life, but at what cost? You could die any day. Senior engineer just quit and left the company on fire. I work at a software engineering firm on a team that works with back-end networking. This place is a nightmare to work at for a multitude of reasons. Mostly out-of-touch helicopter management and an unmaintainable code base that the higher-ups have refused to spend the money to fix long since I came on board. Almost everyone on my team is not planning to be working here at the end of the year, and this place has become a revolving door for new employees. The only reason the company stayed afloat is due to the two senior engineers that were here since the beginning. Both of them were awesome guys who helped everyone else make sense of the mess of a product we had to work on. At the beginning of the year, management decided that we could no longer work fully remote. We had to come to the office for at least 10 hours a week and log that on the work computers. This was fucking stupid for many reasons. Over 20% of the staff here were out of state for fuck's sake, and the company has had one of its best years when we worked fully remote. When this got announced, one of the senior engineers walked immediately and jumped to the biggest competitor. No one has come on as a replacement. We've already missed a deadline because of it. Well, last week the management announced no more remote work period. People are not happy, and today the office has been an absolute shit show. The main event of this circus though was something to behold. The last senior engineer walked right into management as he arrived and spent the entire morning there. Right before lunch he came out and announced he just quit to the team. Over the weekend he already lined up a new job, and when he came in today he demanded a 80k raise to work in office. When they laughed in his face he told them he quit. Apparently management changed their tune immediately and tried to appease him with a 5k raise, but he told them to go fuck themselves. They spent 2 hours trying to give him peanuts to get him to stay, even offering him fully remote work, but he just laughed in their face. Most of the team has taken the rest of the day off, and some of us even went to lunch with him while he told us the story of him holding management by the balls. No one knows the code base anymore here, the documentation sucks, and the company is actually fucked right now. Already looking for another job as well. Fuck managers. Quit after meeting where we were informed that they're withholding all breaks. For context, my job was a doggy daycare attendant. Yesterday my job had a meeting and they told us they're withholding our breaks because our job isn't laborious or difficult. Also that it isn't against the law to do so. I live in Missouri BTW. I asked if I was getting a break after working 6 hours, they said no. I asked about meal breaks and they aren't providing them. I asked when I'm supposed to use the restroom because we aren't supposed to use it on the clock. So if we don't have breaks, how are we supposed to use the restroom? Apparently we are supposed to go 6 to 9 hours without food or a bathroom break. I told my boss and manager about how my boss' husband threatened to fire my co-worker over sending me on a 15-minute break and bragged about already firing 3 people. When they have a workers' shortage and I was pulling more hours, the owner got increasingly mad at me, so I was told if I didn't like it I could leave. I quit, turned in my shit and left. They've been calling and begging me to come back cause apparently multiple people quit over not getting breaks. A doggy daycare attendant is a hard job. You're watching 20+ dogs by yourself preventing fights, you have to be on constant alert at all times, and I could be sent to the hospital if I'm injured bad enough. You're on your feet for 6 to 9 hours, too. I'm just so tired of rich business owners who think they can do/say anything and expect us to kowtow to their intimidation/manipulation tactics. You can't threaten my job when I've already quit. Edit for those who don't believe me. Here's a convo I had with my manager yesterday. Link. My coworker killed himself last night. He came in a few weeks ago with cuts on his arms after an attempt but still wanted to work. His girlfriend of 3 years left in the middle of the night to move away with another guy. He was living with another guy who worked here who kicked him out because he was disrespectful and got blood everywhere, then laughed about it with my boss. I'm sick to my stomach. I lost my sister almost 5 years ago and the pain never goes away. I wish I could have helped him. I don't think I can continue working here for someone who would so casually joke about someone's attempt. Last night he was successful. He deserved better. Drowning. Recently I graduated with my bachelor's degree in accounting. I got an internship about an hour where I live. Everything was going great, but I was told if I wanted to continue the position come the fall I would need a master's and be able to sit for the CPA exam. This is an entry position offering $50,000 a year, but it requires a master's degree. I don't know what to do. My scholarship's expired, and I can't afford to go back to school and drive 2 hours a day for a position that pays slightly above a labor job that I could get tomorrow. I don't know what to do. I'm just hoping for something to end/change at this point. How will this generation ever survive without affordable housing and proper pay? I just don't know what to do and feel hopeless. Tomorrow's the big day. I'm finally gonna quit my toxic job. I've been at this company for just over a year now, and lately it's been my personal hell. I originally started this job at another branch where I was treated with respect by my manager and co-workers. 4 months in I got transferred to a new branch which turned out to be the most toxic work environment I have ever been exposed to. Never have I witnessed a group of more lazy, selfish, and manipulative sorry asses. I worked this job during my last year of college, and now that I've graduated I'm ready to leave these assholes behind in their pathetic little town. This week has turned out to be the biggest clusterfuck of them all, and management has once again outdone themselves with the lack of professionalism. I'm sick of this shit. I have put up with harassment from an older male employee which management did absolutely nothing about, despite me making my disapproval clear. And still sent me to pick up lunch for the office with him in his stupid midlife crisis sports car, where he proceeded to take me on the highway to kill extra time by showing me how fast sport mode could go. I'm tired of driving home in silence, paralyzed with stress. I'm tired of feeling my stomach flip when I wake up for work each morning. I did manage to befriend one employee, who admitted to hating me when I first started because I was intimidating, but despite the initial dislike we grew extremely close. Management decided to pull her apart in a meeting earlier in the week, leaving her in tears and hyperventilating. Boss had to drive her home, it was so bad. She hasn't been back since and texted me today letting me know she's not returning. Now that I have nothing to lose, I'll be handing my resignation letter in tomorrow morning. It's been like my dirty secret all week. Especially hearing them talk about how much I'll be needed this summer to help cover all their vacations, lol. I didn't intend for this to be so long, it's just been nice getting all of these thoughts out of my head. If any of you have advice, I'd love to hear it, smiley face. To my supervisor, if your worthless ass manages to see this, fuck you Kathy. My mom's employer, United Healthcare, never called her or her emergency contacts when she suddenly stopped showing up to work. My sister found her dead a week later. TLDR, my mom accidentally overdosed on insulin on a Monday morning and was found dead in her apartment a week later by my sister. Her employer of over 5 years did not attempt to call her personal phone once and certainly did not reach out to her emergency contacts, which would have been us. She just didn't show up to work and they marked her internally for no call no show. She was in a position that was highly micromanaged, so there's no way they didn't know Monday morning when she didn't start working. She was a registered nurse for United Healthcare doing clinical reviews of appeals for claims United denied. It was an efficiency-focused role. She had a certain number of files to review every day, and if the nurses start to fall behind, due to a complex case or technical issues, the managers are iming them by noon asking why numbers are down. Her time was so micromanaged that she told me she needed to punch out to use the restroom, and if she took longer than 5 minutes, the managers would text her asking where she was. From what I gather, it was a micromanaged sweatshop, but she worked there for over 5 years and seemed to be good at her job. She was offered managerial roles twice which she declined due to the toxic culture, and she always received her efficiency bonuses. So it blows my mind that one day she just went completely missing in action and they didn't do even the bare minimum to investigate why. My sister lived an hour away and I lived across the country. We didn't talk much during the week with work and everything, so we didn't get suspicious until the weekend when my mom was not responding to texts/calls. I don't think United could have saved her if they reported her missing, but they could have prevented my sister from walking in on my mom's week-old body. That is something that haunts me, that my sister had to find her like that. If they only called her emergency contacts, asked the police to check on her. Really anything, my sister finding her like that could have been avoided. But they couldn't even be bothered to call my mom's cell. The U.S. Department of Labor just called me about my report of managers no longer distributing tips. Said there's nothing to be done. Just got off the phone with the Department of Labor. I've previously made a post here about how it's been months since I or anyone else has received tips. Afterwards I called the Indiana Department of Labor Wages Division to make the report, where I was told there's no reason I shouldn't be getting tips. Now I'm being told that since I make over minimum wage, everyone at my work starts at $10/HR, I am not entitled to tips and my employers do not need to distribute them due to a 2018 law. Now I have no idea what I'm supposed to do since none of my applications anywhere else have responded and all the tips being taken in by the restaurant are disappearing. Taco Bell drive-thru made me proud. 9 o'clock at night, hungry, so I drive to Taco Bell. See huge line at drive-thru, no problem, I've got time to kill. Wait 15 minutes, only a single car has made it through with food. Many drivers honk their horns, get out of cars and angrily knock on glass of building to try and get in, doors are locked, they can't. A few drivers give up the wait and manage to do an 8-point turnaround in the tiny parking lot to escape. I'm close enough to see inside the store now. There are 3 employees sitting down, totally checked out. The person with the drive-thru headset on is spaced out while staring out the window towards all the cars. I waved at them and left. They don't get paid by the burrito. They don't make extra money for providing great service. They probably had a damn tough day and closed the store when they felt like it. I got a protein bar from a local gas station and a drink. Wasn't as good as a Crunchwrap Supreme, but I respect the hell out of those workers for putting their foot down. I am not responsible for the social life and well-being of my co-workers. I work in a small regional office, 30-ish employees, and have been working 90% remote for the last 2 years. As the weeks go on, it seems like there is a larger push to get everyone back into the office. Several of the guys I work with reminisce about the vibrant social scene of the office pre-COVID. I wasn't even involved at this point, and they talk about how selfish and boring working from home is. Since when the fuck am I responsible for my co-workers' social health and well-being? I have had the most rich times of my life since being able to work from home. I get my shit done in 8 hours and have 1/3 of my day to do whatever I want. This toxic relationship that some people still have with work absolutely boggles my mind. I was let go today with no notice, and during my exit interview on a Google Meet with HR, the meet shuts down because the org shut down my email/Google ASAP. Talk about the door hitting your ass on the way out. They don't care about you. Got a raise and boss told me don't tell any co-workers because it will cause unnecessary drama. Unnecessary drama such as everyone asking for fair wages? Fuck you, Darren. I was already getting underpaid. They gave me a 5% raise. Inflation is 8%. So I left for their competitor making almost twice as much. And my new job requires about half the time than before. No more working nights and weekends. No more 7 a.m. Slack messages saying this needs to be fixed ASAP. No more unscheduled, all of a sudden Zoom meetings to talk things over. Just vibes and working at my own pace for a more reputable company that actually cares about their employees' work-life balance. Cheers to everyone. I hope you all escape the jobs you hate waking up to every morning.